Yes, good people. Big up to all of you. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. It's another edition of the Blue Morning Show. This morning we'll have some news items that are lined up. We will address them and then we will have a good conversation about our last game. It will be about 8 days or so before we play another game. I can't have the number of the bat. But that's by the way. I hope you're all doing well. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. We'll talk about Mark Cucurella. We'll talk about Mauricio Pochettino. And a few other players. Not too many items, but chances are we'll talk a lot about the little we have to talk about. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, good people, big up to all of you. I want to appeal to all of you in the chat already to please let's try the best we can. It looks like we're gonna have issues there. Yeah, I'm seeing that I'm not gonna be able to highlight comments today. I'm not sure why. The disconnect between what is it called? Disconnect between StreamYard and YouTube. I'm not sure why that is happening, and I'm not sure if there's any other way to fix it. I'm gonna try because I'm not seeing any of your comments here. None. I'm not too sure why that is the case. Let's see. Yep, it's not highlighting the comments, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna be able to fix that. But that's, by the way, the first person in the house is BLC. Not really great again. I'm not sure why it's saying that. And we have Patrick Joyce in the house. Hi, Coach. I am back. Saying sorry. I haven't been updating you in 2 weeks. Yeah, we do miss you, but thank you for finding the time to join. And Joyce said, did you hear that Everton have gotten 4 points back? Yeah, I heard that. And Jerry C is in the house. He's saying, Poch, Jerry, nice to see you. I'm going to try to see if I can find a solution to us not being able to see what we have on the screen there. I'm not sure why that is the case, but it's really not helping. Keep dropping the likes on the screen, people. The likes do go a long way. I'm going to try to make a few changes there to see if that will lead to me seeing the screen. I'm not sure what's going on there. Then we have good morning to you, to Jude. A lot of people must I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. And we have Rich Moneymaker saying, big up, Latin, big up to you, to Rich Moneymakers. Breaking news, we are thinking of hiring a set piece coach. Thank you for that information. I'm going to be in trouble this morning. I'm not sure what's happening between StreamYard and YouTube. I'm going to try some maneuvers. Do I think it would work? I'm not too sure, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway to see whether that changes and whether that changes anything. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have 11 people watching. We have just 9 likes. That's not easy, and we're just 11 minutes into the show. For those of you that are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, just know that we appreciate you. And that's because you watching alone does go along with. So I want to say thank you for finding the time to join us. But we want to ask you for one more favor, one tiny bitty favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the stream for us. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. I'm going to try some maneuvers to try to fix my inability to highlight your comments on the screen there. I'm not sure what to do right now, but I'm going to try something. Let me do this. Maybe that could lead to the show disappearing. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm going to do this also. Do public here also. Do save changes. So I think what happened, they say you learn every day. On StreamYard, it's still set as private, while on YouTube, it's set as public. So that may well have been the issue. Yep, there you go. We have the comments all there. So it works. I just learned something new today. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I've read this one tips. Also, quickly, I'm going to address the tips. The tips is how you get the display to go full screen. You just swipe up, it goes full screen. And to see the like, comments, dislike, report options, just hold your screen for about a second. You have those options appear. And please, we do appreciate you taking the time to drop the likes on the stream. The more likes we're gonna, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered to push the stream to more people who'll be interested in the topics we'll have lined up. So I appreciate you all, people. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. Good morning to you too, Jude. I appreciate you. Big up, JC. I'm fine. Bringing normal screen. Not today. Still experimenting with something. I did something thinking I was going to be able. Thinking that we'd be able to screen in 2 formats, the full screen and then also the vertical format. It didn't work. It caused issues rather. But we'll find out. We get back to streaming on regular basis, horizontal format on regular basis. But we're still experimenting with something we're preparing for watch-alongs also. Big up to you to Rich Money Makers. I think I've read your comment there. And I have my bro Constantine done too. Finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well. Chipchilla, just go back to our setup. Listen, we all want something that's going to work for us. The issue, while I wasn't able to highlight the comments, wasn't down to the format. It was down to my experiment on how trying to find a way to stream in both horizontal and vertical formats. So don't worry, we'll sort things out. Lots of experiments going on to make the whole thing more better, make even better. So we'll get there. This is not what we're going to be doing permanently. We're looking for a solution. But big up to you too. And JC Kachila has gone exclusively on phones. No, that's not the plan. We did make some changes behind the scenes, thinking we're going to be able to stream in both formats today. It didn't work, but we'll get there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's see. Hello, guys. You still watch out, Heston? I'm not going to have that conversation. I have my opinion. I'm not going to stress myself, and that's because no matter what anybody thinks, I think he stays to the end of the season at least. Beyond then, I don't know. In my opinion, and that's not even guaranteed that he stays to the end of the season. But if he's still here, I'm going to support him. I want my club to do well. Let's see what else we have here. But Vic, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Okay, then fine. How to make both? Yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, we're working on that. You sound like Poch coaching tactics. Just go away. You're everywhere, right? I cannot use my phone while watching YouTube in this moment. Thanks, Coach. Okay, apologies for that. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 11 likes. Let me educate you once again, or let me say, reacquaint you with something we've talked about. Hold your screen, press and hold your screen for 1 second. Then the options to like the video, dislike the video, comment or report the video will pop up for you. And also to go full screen, just swipe up. And please, for those of you who are not using mobile devices, be patient. We'll find a solution. We're just experimenting. We needed to run a test today. That's why we're doing vertical formats this particular morning. If we try and it doesn't work, Blue Morning shows will be strictly vertical formats, and whenever we're doing lineup predictions, it will be Blue Morning shows will be horizontal formats, so to speak, or landscape, if that's the language you prefer. Every time we're doing lineup prediction exercises, it will be landscape, or pre-game shows will be landscape. News shows where we need to share screens, it will be landscape. But there are other shows where it will mainly be I and the fans, then it will be the vertical format. Yeah, so we will mix it up to cater for everybody. We're all important. So let's see what else we have. You keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way to saying hello there. And we have Kuraja. I can see that clearly from there. Yep, Kuraja, nice to see you. We had no mentality and tactics. We'll talk about it again. And I want to appeal to all of us here. Let's start a habit, the habit of keeping the topics aligned to make it easier on the host, because you know how we roll here. We try to keep it interactive. We try to carry those in the chat along. That's why even when we have a lot of panelists on here, when they speak between intervals, I do ask them to please give me a few minutes to give those in the chat a microphone, but we have to keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I'm going to start skipping your comments. And I've respected the OGs here. Every now and then when the OGs come in and come up with a topic that isn't aligned with what we're talking about, I usually, humor them. But please, let's start the habit of keeping the topics aligned. When it gets to when we're allowed to ask questions, we can do that and we'll address the questions, okay? Let's see what else we have here. Deborah Marco J is in the house. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Pochettino should just reduce his tone. Every word uttered now just infuriates me more, not just you, a lot of the fans. Let's see. Are we finally hiring Thomas Frank for set piece? I don't know. I'm not sure what we're going to do. Let's see. Morning to you too. I appreciate you. Okay, so right now, we're going to start addressing the items we have lined up, and soon we will get to discussing the game, the 2-2 draw against Brentford. But right now, let's start addressing the news items we have lined up. We don't have too many. And once we're done addressing the items we have lined up, we'll call it a day. No need wasting time here when we don't have too much to talk about. The first item here says only 2 players, not news. You could call it that if you want to, just more of a report. It says only 2 players have provided 5+ assists in the Premier League for Chelsea Football Club this season. Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto. And Gusto is looking like he will overtake Cole Palmer in that metric. He's really a good player. He's shown that that's the case, and I'm happy we signed him. And given how much we signed him, wow, what a player he is, and I'm happy. A lot of people respect him. Some were questioning his defensive abilities, his offensive contributions, but he's shown that he has everything in his locker room, in my opinion. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see anything else yet. Let's see. Punch your slice and talking. Yeah, have a good conversation between yourselves. But if you want me to address what you have in the chat, let it be aligned with the current topic. So now I just read the report that talks about Malo Gusto and Cole Palmer topping the assists department for us. I'm not sure the specific number, but which means Gusto, if he says 5+, which means Gusto has 5+, and Cole Palmer has 5+. That's not easy. I appreciate them. Two of our youngest players, you could argue. And both they've been excellent since the start of the season. Cole Palmer of late, you can say a bit, you can say not up to par of late, and that's because he's a human being. But one thing I like about him is that he's an excellent player, very confident chap. The drawbacks are maybe you could say a few games here and there where he doesn't score, don't really affect him in my opinion. I've seen that myself because he's a very, very confident kid. Let's see, confident in his abilities. Oh, coach, we're talking about Poch. Great comments. No, here's the thing. I'm just saying, if you want again the panelists to address what you have in the chat, let it be aligned with the current topic. You have every right to have a good conversation with the community member there in the chat. That's how we operate. We keep it interactive here, but it wouldn't help if we're switching between topics just like this. It can be exhausting. It can be tiring as much as I like to interact with you. But if we can form that habit of keeping the topics aligned when we want those on the panel to address whatever we have in the chat, it will make it easier. You have every right to talk about Miss AW, anything you want. Yeah, Poch in, Poch out. If that's not the current topic, we're fine. The next item, let's go to it. And as soon as we're done addressing the items we have lined up, then yeah, we'll start asking. Then it becomes Q&A. Yeah, for lack of a better language. I think that's the most accurate language, actually. Let's move on to the next item, people. How many likes do we have? 13 likes. We can do better than that. And at the very top of the chat window, we've pinned how you can get the like, comment, and dislike options to show. Just press and hold your screen for a few seconds. That is if you're on a mobile device. And to go full screen on a mobile device, swipe up. And I think if you're using a mobile device, you'd be better off going full screen. The display is much better when you go full screen. Let's move to the next item we have lined up, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go online. All right, the next item says Jackson has equaled Lukaku and Havertz's best scoring season for Chelsea. But he didn't specifically say how many goals he scored so far. But that just highlights how well he's done. I know a lot of people don't look beyond. A lot of people don't look beyond how many chances he's missed. But if we consider the fact that he's not traditionally a striker, he's more of a winger than he is a striker. And for Villarreal, didn't play the whole season, the entire season as a striker, half a season. I don't even know if it was up to half a season. And on the flanks, it's proven to be better off when deployed on the flanks. He has assists, he has goals, and in just half a season, not even half a season, you could call it that. A little bit beyond half a season, he's equaled Kai Havertz's best season for Chelsea and Romelu Lukaku's best season for Chelsea. Yet some people still want him sold. Some, you could say, find a way to not just critique him but abuse him. I think if we take our time to step back a bit and consider the fact that he isn't traditionally a striker, and given the fact that he has some good, I think he has up to 3-4 assists right now, and how many goals he scored for us in total, you'd know that he's done well and he's improving. He scored 2 headed goals, which isn't easy, which was one of the things we complained about him not being good early, but it looks like he's working hard, and every time you see him on the pitch, it comes across as if it just seems as if he's improving, and I'll take that. I've always said just let Jackson be Jackson, and he will come good for us. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. It just looks like it's a popular subject at the moment. Yeah, I'm not saying you know what I'm saying. If you want the panelists to address what you have in the chat, let it be aligned. You have every right to have a good conversation with a community member there in the chat. That's how we operate. You know that already. Let's see. The problem is all the teams have figured out our weaknesses. In aerial setup, and Poch keeps going back to it. Let's see what else we have here. The king of mid-table. We are unstoppable. Okay, enjoy the conversations there, people. I enjoy sometimes involving myself in your conversations there. So yeah, let's see. In the blue, to forget me, I've told you that already before. I love you, but you're not going to drag me to that H South place. I'm going to H North, and you know that already. And it says, Coach, why are we trying to why are you trying to send me to the X place on Twitter? Yeah, why are you? Okay. Poch and Gallagher are trying to drag us down to the warmer climate. Enjoy it. It's something you're used to. So why are you complaining? I'm not too sure. I don't get how Poch and his assistants don't have time to coach set piece. We get to that in a bit. So enjoy your conversation now. To you. I feel sorry for Brentford because if we take him from Brentford, and Brentford will offer to find. I'm not sure what you're saying there, but keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let's hear you, Phil. The current topic is about Nicholas Jackson, how well he's done, and please be patient whether you're on the panel or in the chat. We'll get to that game. In particular, we have just few news items or a few reports to address. Then we'll get to that game in proper in about how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It won't take us that long. We're talking about Nicholas Jackson equaling. Okay, he's equaled. He hasn't overtaken them yet. Nicholas Jackson has equaled Lukaku's and Havertz's best season of Chelsea. I'm not shocked. I've always known that he will come good. And had he been clinical, probably he might now have twice as much they had. And that's you can say what's being called the best for those two players in question. Jackson has it in him. He's not perfect, and let's be honest, he's still just 22, and I think he will do more for us. We just need to be patient with him, and you can say we've come to know that he's better off whenever he's deployed on the flank. So let's hear you. If you have anything to add to that, otherwise we'll move on to Bobby and then the next topic, so we can get to the match review exercise as soon as possible.
Yeah, big up, coach.
Big
Big
up
up
to you too,
the
Phil.
panel. Big up, Bobby. Big up um, this comment section. Yeah,
Mhm,
so regarding Jackson, I think personally he has actually done better than we expected. Because if
mhm,
you see the goal involvements that he have right now, and we haven't actually got to the end of the season just yet, he already has 14 goal involvements in all competition, which means 11 goals and 3 assists. And for
mhm,
someone who is just starting the season, someone who is coming from La Liga without prior experience, as well as lack of playing time, because I think he has only played like one full season or even half season, which he played at Villarreal. And seeing him actually having these involvements and being a very, very pivotal player within our squad, that's something which is actually commendable. But, there's always going to be people who are going to criticize him. I understand he's still young, he's just 22, which means he still needs time to develop. He actually said himself that, of course, he has been scoring, but it's not been good enough, which means he actually takes the criticism so that he can actually build up himself and he can actually become a better finisher, which is something which is good, because when you see players actually taking responsibility like this, it's something which is actually good, because they actually know what they are supposed to do and they are going to keep on improving with time. One thing which I don't usually like about Pochettino or even Lampard when he came last season, both of them, they never actually took responsibility. They never did that.
mhm,
Lampard would actually come in press conferences. He'll be throwing the players under the bus. Be saying the players are not fit. The players don't seem like they want to play. The same thing with Poch. He never actually takes responsibility that he got the lineup wrong, or he actually did some bad match. Match. How do I say it? Like bad substitutions. He doesn't actually come out to say that, and his in-game management is not so good. But for him to actually come out and say, we actually didn't do well in this, was supposed to actually grow from this and actually improve. He doesn't do that, and that's just not something that you want from someone who wants to grow and improve. But seeing Jackson actually taking responsibility to actually try and improve, because a lot of people, they used to criticize him that he doesn't header the goals. Now it's something that he has been working on, and he's starting to do that, which shows that little by little he's improving. But it's going to take some time for him to become a much more rounded striker or finisher, because I feel like he's not just a striker. He's mostly like a forward, because he can play all those positions pretty well. You put him on the winger, he's going to do well. You put him as a striker, he's going to do well. You put him behind the striker, he's also going to do well. And this is something which you need when you have players that you actually bring to Chelsea, so that at least you have something good. That's just my opinion. I don't know if you agree with me, Coach.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you, and you could argue he's the manager's perfect type of striker, capable of playing across all the positions in the front area. It's a good thing. And I think a lot of people have actually have come to realize, yeah, he's a good player. We just need to let him be himself. If we're hoping for him to be that number 9 that leads us to winning titles, the Premier League and the Champions League, he's not that guy. Maybe in the future he will become that guy, but there's an excellent player in him. And I'm glad that, again, they say when you realize you have a problem, you're 50% halfway into you can say solving that issue. He knows it. He did. You did mention how he said, yeah, he's scoring, but he's missing quite a lot, and he's working hard to get that solved. The name you mentioned there to abandon Chelsea for the season, and Jackson scores a header. Coincidence? You're going to that place, and I'm going to say it's a coincidence. Well, listen, I'm not going to have that conversation with you. Jackson himself acknowledged he misses a lot of chances, and that he should have scored more goals. He concluded by saying he will continue to improve. He has not been bad overall. He's improved, actually. 200 goals. I didn't expect that to happen in the next 20 years, and it happened within a month. Kudos to him. He's improved, and I hope to long may that continue. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Jackson has a lot of potential, guys. Okay. And do you know he's doing extra training to get better at scoring goals? That's good for him. He needs to be doing that. Jackson will turn into a beast with that mentality. Yeah, it's a good thing to realize that you have a situation that you have to work on. People speak sometimes. The problem will be if he thinks that he's arrived, that he doesn't need to learn anything. I don't know. Again, what I'm referencing right now. For instance, somebody did tell us that when Mendy was told that he needs to work on his distribution or something, and he argued that he doesn't think so. If that really did happen, then that's sort of mentality that leads to one not improving, because you think you've arrived, you think you know everything, you think you have nothing to learn. It becomes an issue. As a coach, I like the blue jacket. Not wearing much red these days. Okay, you know what? You did it. You've led to me paying attention to the colors I wear whenever I'm on the panel here. My point is that the move. Okay. The more we hire, or retain coaches out of the managers I set up, the more division. I can't quite see that. Why is that looking so tiny for me? The more division, back talking, and trouble we will create for the team. I think I agree. I am just that. I am glad that Gary Neville's £1 billion bottage of Cummings got their butts handed to them. Yeah, I think somebody should return that favor. That because they've spent more actually, and they haven't sold that many, in my opinion. Okay, no matter what it says, it's a pity. Is that what you're saying? It's a pity, coach. You will lose. Okay, I'm not sure. That's a bit jumbled up right there. Let me see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let me see anything else if I can see. Okay, this window is closer than the other one. Bluetooth game saying we have to remember that Jackson is not actually a striker. I choose Jackson over Nunes or Highland. I think he's Nunes right now. Nunes is more of, you could say, I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to compare them. I remember Martin is saying that any serious coach would make it mandatory for players age 22 and below in our team to have at least 1 hour post training practice on their own. I'm not going to see that as a reason to say coach isn't serious. Coach switching pass. Switching pass again. He is already dancing to the club's PR tunes. Okay. Okay, good conversation there. I'll try to get your subsequent contributions. For some reason, I can't see my screen that much, and I'm not sure why that is the case. But I'm going to go to Bobby. Bobby, let's hear you. The report that Jackson that has equaled Lukaku and Havertz's best Chelsea season. I'm not shocked. He has it in him. And had he been more clinical in front of goal, let's just stick with clinical, not even more clinical. He'd have he could say twice as much or maybe 3 times the total goals he has right now. But I think he will get there. I didn't give up on him at the time. And I think I remember you saying Jackson just needs patience. It's proven that he's better off deployed on the flanks and not centrally as a number 9. And with time, he will improve enough to even play centrally and still be effective. But let's hear you, Bobby.
Yeah, big up, Coach Phil.
Big up to you too, brother.
And everyone else on the panel. Listen, Coach, we all know Nicholas Jackson, Mihailo Modric, even Moises Caicedo to some extent, even Enzo. These are all players under development. They are developmental players in the first team, in a developing first team. We all know and have accepted that because they are developmental players in a developing first team, they all need time and the time, to blossom. And they are blossoming and progressing. Jackson most certainly is progressing. First season, young player, inexperienced, first getting used to the Premier League, as he said himself in his post-match interview post Brentford. What leaves us incensed as a fan base with the manager is when you have the opportunity to put silverware on your shelf. This is why you exist. This is what football is about. This is what Chelsea is about. And you throw away that opportunity knowing that it will be a 6th time in a row that a cup final has been thrown away. That's what makes us absolutely incandescent, because that's not acceptable. You were there to win. Your winning was in your hands, but you chose to take, you chose defeat out of the jaws of victory. That's what makes us so angry. But if it comes to the players developing, the fact that they're not so good, I mean, how many games, frustrating games have we had? Even Liverpool away, have we looked at it and understood it is the metamorphosis of a great team in the making with young players in the learning. Jackson is in the learning and he's learning well. The season alone has shown his upward trajectory and his improvement. Now, that doesn't mean to say if the next game he has a bit of a stinker, that people should get on his case and forget that he's developing. So I do believe in Jackson. I think I've said that. I think Jackson is going to come good with time. Very good. I think they all are, all of them. I think they need time. They need more rehearsals together, more integration, more experience. This is what they need. But opportunities should never be spurned. Never. You never waste chances because they come few and far between. I tell you what, coach, even me looking ahead, in a way, some of their learning and development is good because we have an almighty trophy next season. People are ignoring this trophy. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think it does. I think it matters for Chelsea's blueprint. I think it matters for the investment, for the brand. The World Club Cup 2025, we're in it and we must win it. I don't go into trophies to participate. We're in it and we must win it. So all this build up, all these mistakes, this is our rehearsal for the one big trophy, global trophy that we have next season. That's what we have next season because I don't see us in any Champions League. I probably, Europa Cup if we're lucky, Conference League. I'm not even thinking along those lines. We've been flirting around 11th and 10th in the table all season. Another thing, the absence of Wesley Fofana, Christopher Nkunku, Romeo Lavia to a lesser extent, Carney Chukwemeka to a much lesser extent, and Reece James to a huge extent. Let me say this with boldness, and it sounds rather brutal, but these players owe Chelsea Football Club big time, massive. They've spent an entire season drawing wages to sit on the injury table. Not acceptable. Sorry. Both for player and club. Not acceptable. I expect massive performances from these guys in the future, especially Wesley Fofana, who kicks a ball once or twice, then goes and chills out on the injury table. All these things shouldn't be happening. So, Mr. Jackson, who has at least been available, poor guy has been made to be the top striker, which everybody knows he's not, but he's learning that in his craft. He's more of a winger, stroke offensive winger, and probably the best offensive winger we have. Certainly leaps and bounds ahead of Sterling, even if he is still developing. My prayer for Jackson is that he does fulfill his development. There are some players you see them developing, then they get to a point in their career where they are perennial developers. What I call perennial developers, like Raheem Sterling. He got to a point in his career. I remember when Sterling was young, the excuse, oh, he's developing, he's going to come good. Well, he looks like a player in development in his fruition. I don't want that for Jackson because I think Jackson has the capacity to be much more. So kudos to him. I give him his flowers. I don't have too much expectation and think, oh, right, okay, from now on in, Jackson should be ripping up trees. No, let him develop. 22 years old, first season, we have to give him that. He's been available to have that. Same thing I say with Gallagher. This is his first proper season of development. And boy, look at what has happened to him. To me, as I've always said this, I've always been in Gallagher's corner. Give him his contract. Does he want the same as money as Caicedo? Let him have it. He deserves it. You know what I mean? He has developed in the team and will continue to develop with the team. We need money, 100% income from other players. Yeah, let's look elsewhere. Sadly, dare
All
I
right.
say, that might have to be Chalobah. But back to your point about Jackson, absolutely. The kid is developing, and I'm totally behind him for that, for sure. Sorry. I know you wanted to say
All right.
something else.
So much. I appreciate that, Bobby. I'll come to you, Roger, in a bit. Just give me a few minutes. Let's keep those in the chat. The microphone.
Big up, Roger.
Pick up
Hola.
new improved Bobby coming from Constantine Dante. They're calling Bobby new improved, and that's because probably you are punched out right now. You're not keeping it secret. So they appreciate you. But one thing I have to make clear here, Constantine Dante.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I was gonna say you need to give us one of those.
Constantine, listen. One thing is clear: as much as Bobby is openly punched out, you cannot drag him to the H South place or H negative if that's the language you prefer. You know that quite well. And God of Frog is saying Casado was responsible for the first goal. We consider we're not talking about the game right now, and I'm looking for comments that are about Nicholas Jackson at the moment. So okay, you slug it out with him. Big up to you to Patrick, and Patrick is in the house. Pay attention. I'm quite sure he will be bringing us a lot of updates there. He was one of the first to join the conversation this morning, and he talked about Everton having their 10 points deduction reduced to just, I think, 6 in total. And thank you for that update, Patrick. I appreciate that. Jackson on the left is a different animal. Unfortunately, he's never supported by a decent left back and always played out of position by an incompetent Geffer. Heston, I'm going to say this. On the left, he's been brilliant, and I'm not going to go to the extent, but you're always doing that. That's your thing. That's the behavior of those in the H negative place. He's done well, and he's read the game well. He's tracked back effectively, and especially whenever he's paired with Ben Chilwell, whenever Ben Chilwell overlaps, you'd see him being reluctant going forward because he knows if we lose the ball, that we're in trouble without Ben Chilwell being available to cover that space in the left back position. Let's see. Okay, second good Gallagher was for. Okay, I'm not talking about right now. Why did the club appoint Poch if they understand that the Chelsea way? He's never won a thing in the Premier League, just like Potter. Lisole. Big up to you, bro. I appreciate you. I know I owe you a call back, but it's been crazy for me. I'm not gonna bother about it too much because I know you understand. He's saying this is what I don't understand with Chelsea fans. Poch has always been meat. A lot of Chelsea fans will tell you that, but I'm still arguing whether he's the man long term for Chelsea or not. I'm still arguing he actually overachieved at Tottenham, but that's just my opinion. Beyond that, my opinion of him, whether he's the man for the Chelsea job or not, that has changed. And if you've watched that video, you'd know where I'm coming from. Let's see. That is not related to the current topic right now. The board, okay, people having good conversation there. Richard, let's hear you. What do you make up? Do you want to weigh into that, or do you think we should move on? Up to you. The fact that he's measured. I have a Chelsea total. You can say, let me read that as again. Let me not misquote anybody there. Where's that particular? Okay. Jackson has equaled Lukaku and Havertz's best scoring season for Chelsea Football Club. If you have anything to add to that, you go ahead. Before we switch topics.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hola.
Big up to you. Hola, Senora.
I'll be honest with you. He's a bit of a dichotomy, isn't he? He grasps your imagination in one hand, and then in the same breath, he can frustrate you also. For instance, the goal that he scored with his head, I think one of our best goals, excuse me, of the season. An amazing cross by Gusto, an amazing header. He didn't have to do much with it. He just guided it. He could have easily tried to do more with it and missed, and he didn't. He looked very composed. I think this reminded me of when he was playing preseason, if you recall. A very
just quickly, Roger, would you say the two last goals he scored for us, he looks very composed on the ball?
Yeah, but in the same breath, as I said, Coach, in the last two games, look, he's gone up inside the 6-yard line to head a ball. It looks like he's never seen a round object before. But you know, and Phil and everyone else has said this, and I think we genuinely, no excuses. It's a fact. You have to take this and contextualize it. He's only 22. I mean, he's learning his trade. He's learning on the job. So if he was 27, 28, then there is genuine room and bandwidth to criticize him in that regard.
And by the way, he's actually not a starter for Senegal. He comes off the bench, and in most cases, doesn't even play. Didn't even play for them in the AFCON competition.
Yeah, internationally, I'm not really concerned internationally because this is a league that is harder than most international tournaments, if not all. So, to be honest with you, with the exception of possibly Nkunku, who, just my opinion, is playing on a different level, you can tell he's the finished article, shall we say. Virtually everyone else, and to a certain extent, even Reece James, everyone else is not polished, and they have yet to reach their potential. It's that simple. This is how young our squad is, and so you can extrapolate that and point that to every player. We have to be patient. This is not the finished article. Jackson, yes, he does some things really well, and in the same breath as I said, where he's doing the overstep, a Ronaldo impression inside the box and loses the ball. I mean, do the basics, right?
Roger,
Yeah.
Roger, and it's really funny you should say Ronaldo, because doesn't this remind you of Ronaldo when he started with Man United? All the silly stepovers, falling over the ball, trying to find his feet. Then by his third season, boy, what a player. Now, I'm not saying Jackson is Ronaldo.
I would say Benzema, and even Jackson
Yeah,
himself did
Benzema.
mention Benzema.
Now, I'm not saying,
Madrid.
no pressure. I'm not saying Jackson is any of those. All I am
Mhm.
saying is that this is testimony that he's developing. Sorry to interject, Roger,
No,
but I had to
not
get
at
that
all.
in.
No, Bobby,
Roger will be happy you're here, Bobby. So don't worry. If it was me, then it would be an issue.
Exactly.
See?
No, Bobby, it's against my religion to watch Man United that much. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's a valid point. Listen, it's I'll be honest with you. Like going around the keeper, we should have won. Over the weekend. It's that simple. We should have been able to convert more
Roger,
opportunities.
can I ask you this quickly?
Go for
You
it.
mentioned him rounding the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Then the shot was a bit, you could say, lame.
Yeah.
When you say he was unlucky that the defender tracked back and cleared it off the
No.
line, not off the line really, because he wasn't close to the line. Would you say he did
It
well
was
enough,
on the
or just
line.
unlucky?
No, not unlucky.
Was it on the line?
Yeah, it was on the line, coach. It's
So for
basic.
you, it is a miss. You can categorize that as
Coach, that's
being unlucky.
Yeah, that's so. There's two instances offensively for Chelsea that really drew my ire. One was Palmer had a wide open goal, a beautiful play, by the way, lovely cross yet again. You got to hit the target. That goes in.
What's that particular cross from? For the Palmer one?
Gusto, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I can't recall. I think it was Gusto. But just listen, you've got to hit the target. It's that simple. The goal is gaping wide open. Listen, he's human and he's young, and so I'm putting everything into context. But that and going around the keeper, that looked like a back pass, like he was playing with his own team player. That was a very poor effort. You've got to put those chances away. It's
just quickly while I'm with you. Can you compare that to the Haaland meets against Man United?
Yeah, actually, I'll be honest with you.
The same category, right?
No, it's because that ball is hip high. It's closer to the goal, no doubt about it. If you ask Haaland to yet again hit that ball over the bar, he'll probably miss. He'll probably go put the ball in the back of the net. Right? It's harder to miss than it is, but it's that one area where the ball is at an unusual height where you can't head it, but you can't get your foot up close. Do you see what I'm saying? Still unacceptable miss, but I can understand. Look, he's a massive player also, so it looks even more awkward. But the
reference is just to highlight the fact that
they're human. Yeah, they're human, no doubt about it. But you've got to score. But then again, you look at Haaland, and you're comparing him. I'm not. He's much better aerially. Look at the goal he scored. Do you see Jackson
Yeah,
scoring
I
that
just
goal?
look, the miss is my, but again, what I just needed that.
Yeah, no, but
I'm
what's
just
good for
referencing
the
the miss, not the players' ability over their respective abilities overall.
yeah,
But
but
go ahead.
if you're gonna compare the miss, then compare the goals, and let's be honest with you.
But go ahead with Jackson. Go ahead. I understand your
Yeah,
point.
I'll be honest with you that's something. This is why we've dropped 2 points, because we had 2 clear chances and we didn't convert them. That's in addition to the defensive woes, But these opportunities, and they're not like, I'm not talking about having a 25, 30-yard strike at goal where that's obviously like 3% chance of converting. I'm talking about when you're rounding the keeper, you've got to score. You just got to. And the same with Palmer. I'm blaming them equally. But they're both human and they're both learning. But this is why we drop points, because we don't convert. It's that simple. So
Shocking,
yeah,
right? And it hasn't happened to us before.
No, and that's why it's very frustrating. Yes, he scored a beautiful goal from a beautiful cross. I think one of our best goals of the season. But then again, we drew. And why did we draw? Because we didn't take our chances and we were very charitable defensively. Same thing. It's the same bloody story every week. We might as well just have one show, cut and paste it, and apply it each week. Let's be honest. And that's what
I'm going to come back.
Yeah,
it is. I'll give those in the chat, the microphone, then we'll come back and move on to the next one again. I'm going to say this 3 things that you must know about Chelsea. 1, opposition players are more likely to score goal of the season against Chelsea Football Club. 2, if a team has played 999 games and the 1,010th will be against Chelsea Football Club, they're more likely to get a win and then lose the game or even get a draw. Nothing new there. I think I did talk about that during the pregame show, saying I'm concerned. The fact that they've been in was it 13 attempts or 15 attempts? 13 attempts. They've lost 10 times, and I think drew 2 and won 1. That I'm not too confident about that game, unfortunately.
They had lost 10 out of 12, Coach.
10 out of 12, yeah. Go ahead, Bobby.
Can I please say this thing that I really hate from Mauricio Pochettino, and shows to me that he's got a losing mentality. Please, Mr. Pochettino, stop talking about playing too many games. Stop that nonsense. Yeah, we know. We played, maybe is it 3 games in 6 days? Yada 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 yada.
3 1/3. Yeah.
What would you do if we were in Europe like we normally are? Please.
Yeah, we don't even have any European assignments. Yeah, at all.
He needs to stop that nonsense. We're Chelsea. This is what we do.
Yeah,
if he said, look, our schedule is hectic and we've got a lot of injuries. Okay, I can hear that. But we played 3 games. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to do.
Well, he is saying the same. Bobby, don't forget this is not his mother's tongue. I'm sure he can articulate better in Spanish. Come on, you've got to give the guy a break in that regard.
No, he has no break from me.
Roger, you really want to defend him from the perspective of English not being his mother tongue? Him saying that we played too many games?
Yeah, 3 1/3 games in 6 days is a lot. Let's be honest.
Rogers picked up his retainership. Rogers
you're
now on his retainer.
Here's the deal, Bobby. You and everyone else to critique him, which he deserves. I'm not saying he doesn't, but guess what? He wouldn't be under this much pressure if we didn't execute. That's the fact. It's that simple.
That's a fact. I agree. That's a fact, but at the same time, I don't think he's. Come on, Roger, from the perspective of English not being his first language, you're defending him saying we played too many games.
Well, listen, I guarantee you if he's asked the question in Spanish, he'll be able to articulate it in a more contextualized manner that is more palatable to everyone's liking. I think we can safely assume that, assuming he's articulate.
All right. All right, you haven't lost your job as a manager's lawyer. That hasn't changed.
No, but it's a fact though. It's being nitpicky.
No, I
chaps.
understand,
Come
but
on.
no matter how anybody sees it, you can say a language is still an issue there. But with his comments, yeah.
Okay, so's missing going around the keeper.
All right.
It's his fault, is it?
Let's
Come on.
I'd be shocked if we finished again without missing 2, 3, 4 clear-cut chances. So then I start asking for the IDs of the players. Let's see. Is it me or does Bobby have a slight twang of Yoruba today? I swear he's Jamaican. Big up, Bobby. He may well be. We don't know, but big up to him. And some love from you there. Vic is Constantine Danza responding to Vic. And we have the man probably say, I'm not sure if we'll win, if we'll beat Newcastle. I think, okay, if we play Newcastle, it's a bit jumbled up there. I'm sorry, I can't quite understand what you're trying to say there. Great speech from the legendary Bobby. And get legend Roger to speak. Yes, sir. In that order, sir, I heard you, and I'll make sure that happens. Let's see what else we have. We keep dropping the lights on the stream, people. The lights will go a long way. And Z18 thinks London is a certain color. I'm not going to even highlight that comment there or even read it out. Players are need, unfortunately. That's your opinion. In my opinion, I think we have a very good squad. We have lots of issues, and I don't think the manager is the sole reason why we are experiencing the issues we're experiencing. But that's another topic for another day. Let's keep Ziyech in the summer. Give him another Ziyech. Keep him when? You could argue that actually he's gone already. Rain, nice to see you, Mr. Rain. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I cannot like the screen. Where's the like button? Just press and hold the screen for about a second. Then the like option, comment option, and other options will pop up. Just press and hold your screen for about a second. You see those options right there. I appreciate you for asking. We have 22 likes, but we should be doing way better than that. Okay, I can't quite understand that. Z18, I'm not reading that. Would be nice if Roger had the same energy feeling for Poch. Yeah, sorry. Everybody must not do what you want. Not everybody wants to go to the H place. Some people like to be as objective as possible, and Roger is one of them. Even though I don't agree with Roger all the time, I think he's most likely going to the H South. It's North place or H positive place. I nearly said to you there, right?
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
Constantine Danger is saying Hashon Jackson, he did well to get there, but then on the left, Justin hit the ball hard enough to go in, but Heston didn't go in. So if anybody argues, you could say categorizes that opportunity as a miss, they have every right to. But for me, I'd say he was just unlucky, but that's just my opinion anyway. No. Big up to you too, the coolest shows. The big, ooh, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding time to join the show. That's for you. Hit the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. 23 likes and a few subscribers this morning. Appreciate you all for that. Let's see anything else. Somebody responding to Dante there, and Dante saying it's not that simple. There's more to a game, not just a couple of chances missed here and there. Let's see. Don't be negative, Roger. That's why we're hiring a set piece coach. Okay, thank you. And your friend didn't tell you this time. That's just your own opinion. Let's see. Tobias saying, thank you, Bobby. This is why I am pissed off with Mauricio Pochettino also. He's complaining about players being tired, but we have players on the bench. Okay. Do I think it's that simple? I'd say no. I have issues with Mauricio Pochettino, but in terms of players being tired, it's not that simple to just bring in any player on to replace certain players. It's not that simple, in my opinion. It's same schedule pretty much every year, and we are not in Europe. Yeah, that's why that this particular comment highlights why I don't really buy the argument that we're tired. Yeah. As much as I agree, it's not that simple to just bring on players or to change certain players. At the same time, it's not. We're playing once every week. If anything, we'll play twice a week when we have cup games and all that. But we've done that. In the past year, we've had about 4 or 5 competitions up to that number actually, and still not complaining about players being tired. Keep dropping the lights on the stream, people. The lights do go along. Well, let me see anything else to address here. Then we'll move on to the next item. We have lined up Crybaby Poch, Liverpool's kindergarten team won 3 games in 6 days. Wow, some argument right there. Let's see. And as we have, Roger speaks English slowly and very soft, in a very soft voice. That's why, okay, you're able to understand everything he's saying. Okay. Everybody just praising Roger. Okay, expect a check in the mail. That's how Roger operates. Praise him and you get a check. Anything else to address here? I think we're done. We're gonna move on to the next item we have lined up. And the next item here talks about Chelsea say Mauricio Pochettino has been involved in the process of creating a set piece department, despite sources are stating otherwise. And the head coach dismissing the importance of specialists last month. Anybody want to add anything to that? Or should we move on? Should we move on? Okay, it doesn't look like the panel.
We do need to improve in all areas. We do need to improve in all areas, both defending set pieces and scoring from set pieces. You know, we do. We need, especially our corners. Look at our corners, which is a set piece. We seldom even beat the first man in the cross. It's pretty poor most of the time.
It's like the first man. It's the target actually.
Yeah, doesn't it? I mean, listen.
But go ahead with what you were saying earlier.
When you compare it to the days of Willian taking our corners, who was sublime. He was an amazing corner taker. You know, it's a big drop off in my opinion. We need to improve in so many ways and in so many areas of the game, different facets. I welcome that. I really do.
Yeah, anybody else? Again, anybody on the panel has anything to add to that? Anybody? Bobby, you're there. Do you have anything to add to that, or should we move on? All right, let's move on to the next item we have lined up here, people. Keep dropping the lights on the stream, people. The lights do go a long way. And I have my bro, Lisule, there saying, super sticker. Thank you. Okay, just he said nothing, just a super sticker to support the community and the show. I appreciate you for doing that, bro. Thank you so much. That will go a long way. And we have Rain saying, responding to Constantine Dante. Anything else here to address, or should we just move on? More of a conversation between two people in the chat there. But Lisule, thank you so much, bro. Sincerely do appreciate the sticker there. Thank you. Let's see what else we have here. We have Chelsea have identified a Brentford guru, Bernardo Cueva, as one of their targets to work in the club's new set piece department. Are we creating a whole new department for that? I'm not too sure how to read into that. But I don't know. Anybody has anything to add to that, or should we move on?
Go for it.
Brentford, you can say they're known as one of the best. You can say how do I phrase that? One of the best in set piece. So I'm not shocked that we're looking to sign one of the coaches there. Anybody on the panel has anything to add to that, or should we move on?
Go for it.
All right. What did you say, Phil? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I was saying we can move on.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Sincerely do appreciate that. The man following here says, I want to see him to come to Chelsea. I don't know. I can't guarantee that will happen. I'm not his agent. He's a very good set piece coach. I did my research already on him. Okay, maybe he's the reason why Brentford they recognize one of the teams that you say that utilize a set pieces very well. I hope he improves us, because we do need to improve in that department. That's a small opinion anyway. Let's see, but I think everybody can agree with that. So this says that Fabrizio Romano quotes Fabrizio Romano's report saying, he's saying, my understanding is that Mark Cucurella is one of the situations to be assessed at the end of the season. Cucurella, Chalobah, and more. I'm guessing the more there includes Conor Gallagher, but it's just probably. It's a point. He didn't say that in that particular comment there. These players are waiting to see what Chelsea decides to do in terms of projects, tactical plans for next season, and the manager's situation. When they say tactical plans, I think for me it comes across as if he's talking about how he's talking about what the club decides to do in terms of what player leaves or goes. From a financial perspective, that's just my opinion. That's what my understanding of that report there. But let's hear you, Bobby. What do you make of the report? Would you like me to read that for you again? Bobby, you there? All right. How about you, Phil? What do you make of the report? Can you? Do you like me to read it out for you again?
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead.
Okay, it reads, my understanding is that Marco Correa is one of the situations to be assessed at the end of the season. Correa, Chalobah, and more. You can just you can say whatever more means to you. We want to hear you. These players are waiting to see what Chelsea decides to do in terms of projects, tactical plans for next season, and the manager's situation. I don't want to share the screen because you will be
Personally, for
probably
me,
too
I feel
tiny. But
like
go ahead if you've seen it. Yeah, go ahead.
I think like for Kokorea, I think we still need to give him a bit of more time, because from the players that we had last season, he was not one of those players who was actually playing very well. But
Mhm.
this season, when I saw him when Chilwell was injured, he seems like he has actually improved a notch and he has been doing well. That was like before the injury. I still think we need him in case, let's say, Chilwell is going to get injured again. He can still come in, or he can almost be like 1-1 player who is going to be competing with Chilwell. Because personally, I feel like Chilwell is not as his best. So having someone to compete with him, it's going to be good in the improvement part, because if we only have Chilwell playing, he's not going to be playing well, because at times he doesn't have anyone to compete with. So he feels like everything is going to be much more easier. So I think if we can keep him, it's going to be much more beneficial, because bringing in another left back as well is going to mean we have to start with that player again, and having to adapt and to to get in with the team, it's going to take long. So I think if we can keep him, it's going to be much more beneficial. But if he ends up leaving, I think I'm still okay with that as well.
Yeah, listen, I like the Korea. Even at the time when most of the fans were, you could say, what's the language I'm looking for? Were not throwing him under the bus. Really, they were. You could say they were accusing him for issues we had at the time at the back. I knew again. I've always known that he's a good player, not just because of not because of the fact that Pep and Man City wanted him at the time. Because I followed them. I watched them week in week out at the time for Brighton. How good he was. I think he complements Ben Chilwell. He's different. Defensively, I think he's better than Ben Chilwell, but he really, I don't think he's anywhere close to Ben Chilwell. But he's a good defender. He comes across as erratic, but that erratic approach of his unsettles opposition players. Sometimes leads to them getting frustrated and committing unnecessary fouls and all that. I think we should keep him, but I think
Hey, coach.
his salary may well be the reason the club decides to let him go. Because they're trying to cut down the wage bill. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, can I ask you, how do you see him? How different has he been for Chelsea than he was when he played for Brighton? What's your assessment?
The clear difference is that you say he's playing as if he's shackled at Chelsea, except of late, except under Mauricio Pochettino. But Graham Potter. Did he play on again on
Yeah.
the Graham Potter? Yeah, he
Yes,
did play a bit on the Graham Potter. He was playing as if he was under so much pressure. As if he was being asked to fulfill a role that he's not acquainted to. Something to that. But since under Mauricio Pochettino, he's played with more freedom. We've seen the best. You can say he's played his best game for Chelsea under Mauricio Pochettino, in my opinion.
What
Whether
about
on the right or on the left.
What about
Defensively,
defensively?
actually, defensively he's done well under Pochettino specifically. Yeah. At Brighton, remember, one season at Brighton, there's a particular season at Brighton that he had more balls into the box. Every time I say that, my dirty mind takes me to somewhere else.
I got it.
No, but you get it, right? The truth,
Yeah.
there was one season at Brighton that he put I think he was just second to Kevin De Bruyne only. But they didn't have, at the time, they didn't have clinical finishes at the club. If they had good finishes at the club at the time, he'd have, again, his assist numbers at that time would be off the charts. But at Chelsea, yeah, just to be more specific, under Mauricio Pochettino, he's been himself more than he was under Graham Potter, even Thomas Tuchel, in my opinion. But it's an excellent player in him. But yes, and I'm going to say what I already said. I think the club will end up consider selling him given his salary. He was signed when we haven't changed, should I call it, our new player contract format.
What's he on,
we
Coach?
Changed that. Sorry?
What's he on?
Let me find out. But he's one of the top earners given how much of the other players are earning right now.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's up to 120. Let me check. Mark Cucurella, weekly salary. Go ahead if you want to be saying anything while I'm looking for you.
No, him, like a lot of people, maybe my expectations were somewhat unrealistic. I remember watching him a few times
he's on 175, so that's a lot.
Yeah.
Given the direction the club is going right now.
Yeah, he just hasn't lived up to our expectations, but based on the fact he was Brighton's Player of the Year 2 seasons ago. I don't know.
For a multitude of reasons, you must say.
No.
The entire, you could say our entire squad at the time, we were struggling as a whole. In every
we still are.
Had issues. We still are, but you say, yeah, exactly. That's true. But at the time, it was easy to point fingers at our defenders.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But go ahead with what you were saying. Otherwise, I'm going to continue. I'm going to try to catch up with what we have in the chat, and then.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to see what
you want to speak about him, or you just a question for you?
No, I can see him. Yeah, it was just a question. I can see him being moved on. I really can, but I can also see him staying a year too. I don't know. There's a few players like that.
Yeah, I think the salary will be the biggest issue, except if he accepts to take a pay cut. And City, there's a chance City comes back for him. Do they have enough numbers in the left back position right now? They're playing centre backs in that position mainly.
It's their only weakness in the team, in my opinion.
Yeah. So chances are, if we're looking to sell him, they come back for him. Except if his salary will be an issue for them too, which I don't think it'd be. For us, definitely an issue. That's because we're looking to cut our wage bill. Let's see. Spalletti has banned the players of the Italian national team from playing a PlayStation. Imagine that for CFC kids. I'm not sure. That's overreaching in my opinion. I'm not sure what to make of it. But every manager, you can say they approach things differently. I'm going to move on to that. Anybody has anything to say, Cucurella talk? Otherwise, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, and then I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat.
Cucurella is another player Cucurella is another player that owes Chelsea Football Club big time. You spent so much time on the injury table. Even last season, he was in and out. So all these players, and more, what makes it worse for him is his wages. He owes us. That's how I look at it. He owes us. His performances of late with Pochettino is the least we can expect from him, among others.
Yeah.
I do like him. I like him, and I get where Bobby's coming from with regards to how, like he said, how much time he spent on the treatment table. But he's not spent as much time as what's his name, as Ben Chilwell and
And Wesley Fofana and
Wesley
Lavia.
Fofana. Those are the OGs in terms of spending time on the table. Phil, you have anything to add to that?
Benoit
Currently, no.
Ben, what about the Shillings?
And
Yeah.
Kunku.
Nkunku actually has he. There's also Romeo Lavia. He hasn't
Lavia.
actually.
Yeah, I said Lavia.
He's. Oh, have you? You know, I like to tap in. Lavia has played just 10 seconds for us.
Yeah.
And that's it. But Phil, go ahead. Phil, you were saying something.
Sorry. Phil.
No, I don't have anything else to say.
Okay, all right, thank you. Let's see. I like Correa's hair. So it stays because you like his hair. Good for you. Pochettino out and that's the coolest chest. Like, ooh, nice to see you. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, Poch didn't want him. He was forced to play him. Really, Correa, or you're referencing someone else? And Keisha, nice to see you, my New York bro. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Coach, you get you get him out of your head too. Let's see. Don't forget Kukurea, off-field issues as well. That is the off-field issues you're referencing is something that seems to be very common with our Spanish contingents, for lack of a better language. What's his name? Morata had an off-field issue. Who else? Kepa had an off-field issue, and Kukurea also had an off-field issue. Except, what's his name? Didn't have that. Mata didn't, but you say there's a pattern to that, really. But
now,
yeah,
didn't he get burgled or something?
Kukurea, did he?
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not sure if he's off-field issues.
I think it was a relationship issue, just like Morata and what's his name, and Morata. What's the other player that I just mentioned? One more Spanish player that had a relationship issue. Kepa Arrizabalaga, yeah. Don't forget Kuku off-field issues. I've read that. Keep the balls out of the box, coach. Just go away. I'm sorry. That reminds me the day Bobby used the language. He said, "I gave it to, who were like what?" But he caught himself immediately. Okay, that's by the way. Let's see. But Chilwell is on 200K a week. I think Kukurea would be difficult to sell, just like Sterling.
Coach's mind
that
is
won't
in
be
the
the case.
Coach's mind.
Go ahead, Bobby. What were you saying?
I said, Coach's mind is in the H place today.
I'm going to say, God forgive me for having a dirty mind. I have to say that. I'm a human being. And the difficult thing is that even the Bible says you can sin by thinking. So I hope I don't go there. I think Santos Angelo Casadei, definitely a bit jumbled up again, definitely getting sold. No, Casadei isn't going to be sold. He's a special talent. Even Santos and both, you can say they'd be looking to sell our academy graduates, players from the academy. That's what will make them a lot of money. Those players, I don't think so. People will look to take them on loan with an option for a permanent purchase, which I don't think they will sell all of them. So let's see anything else before I scroll to the very bottom. Let's see. Kukurea played well when given the opportunity. Yeah, he did well, especially on the Mauricio Pochettino. I swear these players, let me see. I swear these players just signed for Chelsea just to get free medical care. It sounds more like it. This team is still injury prone. They all are. It's a Chelsea thing. So the fact, yes, then you can argue. You can say there's an underlying reason why our players get injured easily like that. It could be down to the manager's training approach because it's too much for it to be a coincidence. What do you think, Roger?
I think it's a combination of many things: bad luck, bad timing, possibly training. Listen, but we had that with a different manager last year and different tech training also, if you recall. We were hit by injuries significantly. So I think it's, I don't know, maybe it's the fact that our players are mostly youthful and they're developing bodies, etc. Listen, I think there's a plethora, a multitude of reasons why we have this injury-prone squad. And it's not for the first time, you know. Perhaps if it was the same manager, then I would say yes, he's doing something. But it's multiple managers, coach. So I'm not sure whether that can be a logical answer. Something's wrong, that's for sure, and we need to address it, or at least multiple things, or could be an issue. And we need to address multiple reasons.
Yeah, Bobby, what do you think
about
our injuries?
The injuries. Again, we have too many cases that I don't think it makes sense to say, just a coincidence that it's just happening at the same time.
No,
I think there's an underlying reason why that's the case, and we haven't figured that out yet, in my opinion. But what do you think?
Well, looking at things as a underlying reason, as you say, is too simplistic. You know, when people are faced with problems, they tend to look at it, you know, as black and white, yes or no. It's not like that. I think Roger's right. There's a multiplicity of reasons as to why the injuries are persistent.
Of course, you have to agree with Roger.
He's my brother, but although he's got the wrong retainership, but there you go. Nothing's perfect. But my take is quite simply this. Look, life is about problems. Problems often come in multiplicities. Nobody deals with one single problem at a time. Sometimes you do if you take it one at a time, but sometimes they come at you in more than one at a time. So you've got to be dexterous in how you handle the situation. Where that's our failing. We are not handling it on multiple grounds that it's throwing at us. One, the player themselves. Two, the rehabilitation regime. Three, the coach's overuse of players because of his shortage of players. You know, all these factors are coming into it. Four, maybe their training needs to be looked at, you know, and all that sort of thing. You know, I find it rather unacceptable to have a young player come out for Chelsea and then pull up with an injury. That shows that either we are overplaying that player, we're not using the player correctly, because that shouldn't happen. So accountability has to come into it. I don't think it's even right that it's not a coincidence that of all the top teams, we are the worst hit. You know, we all had COVID. We all had, you know, the period of time where players were faced with numerous internationals. We all went through that. So why it affects us the worst is not acceptable. Okay, you can say that we are the only big team that has had this massive transition and hard reset. Yes, that's fine. But you know what? Get over it. Solve your problems. Move on. I think we are trying, to be fair. I think we are trying. But to me, it remains a bitter taste in my mouth and totally unacceptable to see the list of our A-rate players that have not given us service this season and have been paid. And funny thing is, a lot of them are high-end earners as well. Your Cucurella's of this world and Kunkus, Reece James. I just find it unacceptable, and it must be high on the priority list of the club to address for simple purposes of economics. Your tools are missing in order to generate the income you require by success. Can't accept it.
Just quickly, Bobby, when you say when you talk about the club prioritizing and addressing the issues of the number of injuries we have, what do you suggest they do?
I suggest
because we can't sell them. You can't sell you can't sell injured players.
And injured players. No, I suggest that they have to hold their hand up. In the case of Nkunku, now we've probably lost him for the rest of the season. I'm not into all this, oh, he's injured, and then you flatter people to deceive and think he's coming back. I think in the case of Nkunku, we should have dug our heels in and been patient. You have no choice. He was beginning to come back. We started playing him, 2 games a week? Insane.
And it wasn't as
Insane.
if we were
This is
struggling too much at the time in his absence.
Yeah, this is where the manager comes in, and this is where I blame him. He should come out in the press conference. Christopher Nkunku is still recovering from injury. I will not play him before he is ready. It's that straightforward. But instead, it's like, we need Nkunku. Oh, he puts him on. I mean, crikey, it was telling that he comes
So
on.
now he has a hamstring injury, Bobby.
There you go.
He has a history of that.
There you go. So who's
And
aggravated that?
he
You've
sustained
overplayed
during
him.
the training session, right?
No, it was after
No, I
the
think he
Carabao
tweaked
Cup.
it. Yeah, I think he tweaked it in the final. I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you know what?
so-
Once you have a hammy though issue, it's always going to be with you, unfortunately.
No, I don't accept that. I don't accept that at all. I think there have been several players that have had hamstrings and continue to be managed by their club in such a way as they can perform. I mean, Mo Salah had an hamstring. Nobody hears us talking too much about it. Why? Because Klopp uses him sparingly and makes sure he's padded out with the squad to do that. Not flipping talk about, oh, I want a 24, 22, 12-man
but
squad nonsense.
isn't he injured right now though?
No, not as bad as it was when he came back from the African Cup of Nations.
Sure, but I'm just saying,
That's my answer. Coach, you've asked me a question. I think the management of the players has to be improved, and the transparency of the fact that these players are being managed and not returned has to be said. We get Lavia on the grass, and then everybody's saying, "Oh, playing." No, the geezer is not ready. He is recovering. Yes, he's on the grass, but he's on the grass recovering. Partly I'm very much in support with what they did with Brozier, which is the same as what happened with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You've had that major injury. You can't hit the ground running with Chelsea. Go on loan, get your strength up, your fitness up, your match readiness up, and indeed the durability in your body before coming back. And that's what they've done. We have to be realistic like that and call it out, not pretend. Not
I would say
pretend that
we've
these
been actually
players are coming
cautious.
back. You think so?
We've been cautious actually as a club, and that's because when Badia Chile and was it Romeo Lavia and who again, one more player, they were still all out at the time, and we did get a report from the club saying that the club wants to be ultra cautious to avoid risking setbacks, and some of them actually some of them we waited too long for them to actually go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, then they went and played them twice a week. That's why Badiashile pulled up again. We shouldn't be having that. Look, we have to be, hold on. If we want to solve this problem, we must embrace the accountability for the problem. We can't find excuses for ourselves. We've got to embrace it and say, look, right now we need to be tougher. We need to say that these players, yes, they're on the grass, yes, they're in training, but they're not match ready, they're not match fit. And, we play them once, and even if it is the World Cup final, the player has to sit it out until he's ready. So we can have the player available instead of away for months and months and months. And Nkunku's gone backwards. Why I say we won't see him till next season is that, he still has to get his match fitness ready again. He has to goodness knows how long this hamstring's going to last. Some players have hamstrings for over a season. This might just be we may not even see him till maybe next Christmas, God forbid. But you know what I'm saying? So we've really, and this is an expensive player. It's not some player that was just a dime a dozen.
What do you think we do with Lavia, Bobby? Do we wind him down for the season?
I think so. I think Lavia should be given every opportunity to get fit, get ready, forget the season. I've forgotten the season with him. I've forgotten the season with Reece James as well. Don't see
Yeah.
the point talking about it.
No,
You know,
yeah,
get them.
it doesn't. It wouldn't make sense to risk bringing them back. Bringing them back. I think we've
No.
proven that we can actually do well without them. And
Well, I don't know about
utilize
do well, but
yeah. No,
don't know about do well, but we manage.
but at least utilize it as Eric today, the young Italian.
Exactly.
If we need numbers in the midfield area, I think we'll be all right. Actually, Ugochukwu will come back. Just let Romeo Lavia sit out the season and recover fully. And Kunku the same thing. Not Benchua, sorry. Reece James. Why rush them back? We can finish the season without them, in my opinion. So
Well, I hope
agree.
Poch is prepping Casaday. You know, this is an opportunity for Casaday. You know, he can be used in league games against Newcastle and people like that. I think it's a good thing.
Otherwise, looks stupid. That we brought him back from Leicester City because he was playing week in week out, especially after Wilfred and Didi got injured. He was playing week in week out, getting goals, getting assists, and all that. Go ahead, Bobby.
Well, he's going to have to. I mean, but one thing I have to say, these players in other clubs is overrated. I mean, look at Lewis Hall. You know, let him go and play. Let him go and play. He's sitting in the stands at Newcastle, so that was a bit stupid. And now he's gone and he's stuck there. So all the development and waiting on the bench, he would have done less of at Chelsea, especially with our left back situation. He's now 10 steps back at Newcastle, which makes absolutely no sense to me. But anyway, at least we're getting money for it.
Yeah, I would say in the case of Lewis Hall, his case is unique, very different from the case of Cesare Casadei, in the sense that he has to play a certain amount of game before Newcastle will be obliged to pay the money to purchase him on a permanent basis. So he hasn't played enough there. Yeah, exactly. So, and chances are, if they're prioritizing signing players in other positions, and we've heard that they have a financial situation that will not allow them sign as many players that they'd like to sign come summer. So, chances are, if they feel like their priority should be to sign players in the attacking area and midfield area, they probably won't be signing Lewis Hall. But let me catch up with bringing Phil if he has anything to add to that. Kuku was our best 1v1 defender, when he played under Mauricio Pochettino. He's a good defender. Stalin got robbed in home. But Stalin isn't Spanish. He was at the England camp. Was that during the Euros or so, or during World Cup actually?
Maybe.
When his son got robbed, he had to travel back and didn't go back again. Yeah.
Reece James got robbed. Cho got robbed.
But Stalin too. Stalin's house was robbed too. Yeah. Reece James' case, they robbed his house, took his Champions League medals. I can't quite remember what was taken from his home. The things that were taken from his home. Yeah, sad indeed. Chilwell isn't the same after he came from injury. He's surprised me actually, and he's played more than 15 minutes without getting injured. So that's huge for us right now. We need him. Newcastle got something for us on Monday. We'll see. I'm not sure what's going to happen in that game because we are consistently inconsistent. And if I'm able to categorize Newcastle as one of the big boys, that I can tell you, it would be a good game for us. But right now, they'll be struggling of late. I haven't checked their recent results, so I'm a bit concerned. Midfield performance from Chelsea once again on Saturday. We'll get to that in a bit. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, then we'll start discussing Coach How's the Coffee. I'm a bit reluctant to say I make good coffee because the last time I said it, I nearly choked on it. So, and I'm quite sure that's the reason why you're saying that. So I'm not going to tell you whether it's good or bad. But anyway, it's good. I'll be good. Keep dropping likes on the stream, people. And Carolina, I'm not sure what you've written there, so I'm not going to highlight it, let alone try to read it. So I'm going to move on from that. Let's see what Vic has to say here. I wonder who is in charge of rehab and sports science. His son, Mauricio Pochettino's son, and I knew you'd say that. I hope Mudryk is not so. The club we're not selling him. There's an excellent player there. Comes off as raw sometimes. But he's the sort of player that he needs to play consistently for you to get the best out of him. The manager doesn't decide a player's fitness, nor necessarily the physio cleared Nkunku to play. Salah played a game for Liverpool and was out for Luton and Carabao Cup. Yeah, we know that, but we're just concerned, and you could argue just expressing how we feel about the situation. We love Omari Hutchinson at Ipswich Town. That's the second part of that name there. He's doing well, scoring goals, and good he's playing. And if he continues in that trajectory, chances are he gets a chance to come to play for Chelsea next season. He gets a chance during preseason. If he does well enough, he stays. There's a talent there also. He's that sort of player you could say that we've been missing for how many years right now since the departure, since Eden Hazard left Chelsea. We haven't had that player, that sort of player that's capable of pulling a rabbit out of the hat and helping us win again. Omari Hutchinson, he has it in him. I'm not saying he's either Hazard or comparing, just telling you what he's capable of doing. He's such a talent. Hopefully he does well overall. Our club would never have risked Salah. We understand that if he'd be out for Luton and Carabao Cup final, the level of responsibility you place on coaches like they control everything is redonkulous maybe. Let me not just call it ridiculous, but I understand where you're coming from. But the fact is, we're just expressing how we feel about the situation. And Nkunku was injury prone before we bought him. That's actually a solid argument. Yep. But he's that sort of player. He's that good that even if he gets to play just 20 games a season, he'd do well enough to help you achieve something that you look back and say, it's worth paying that much money for him. But at Chelsea, he hasn't even, I don't know if he's played 3 games in a row without having an issue. At Leipzig, we've seen him miss can half the season and come back, play a few games, and boom. With scoring goals as if he was never gone in the first place. I'll take him. The board, I didn't think CFC would be under so much pressure playing 38 cup finals, finals a season. Nkunku would have been a luxury player used sparingly. Yeah, you could argue that. Nkunku can live in the summer. I don't think he leaves. He's that sort of player, given how much he earns weekly. Selling him won't be easy. We have to change our physio, irrespective if Poch stays or leaves. They have been awful. Do not pass players as match fit if they're not. Maybe they succumb to the pressures from the players, because players sometimes pressure the manager and the physio because they want to play. They just want to play. I don't know. That's just me speculating anyway. That was Poch who stole. Who stole the Champions League? You're going to that place, and you know Constantine Dante. Only way he would ever get it.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's going there. Yeah, it's South Place. You're going there, really. Bobby, I feel your pain. Chelsea has a really good chance to win something. In the future. What a comment! Shocking. I want Amorim or Lopetegui. I don't want Lopetegui. He was the one that got a chance to coach Real Madrid. Did he even finish? No, he got a chance. He was still at Madrid. The case may have been vice versa. He was a Madrid coach and then got a chance to coach the Spanish national team, left Madrid and went to coach the Spanish national team, and it didn't work out. I think the case at the time was vice versa, but I don't trust him. I don't think he'd be good enough. Even Amorim, I'm going to say this. Amorim is doing well at Sporting CP. But remember, FVB won the Portuguese league without losing a single game. And we signed him. What happened? So Amorim signed him, getting Amorim to come become our coach. Well, I don't think will differ that much from the risk we took when we hired FVB. And you cannot say, he'd come and hit the ground running because of his record at Sporting CP. Chances are he'd come and falter. So I'm concerned. I want us to, if we want to change manager this time, let's go for a proven manager and not risk anything. If Amorim, no matter how you see him, no matter how well they did last season in the Champions League and how well they're doing right now, it's a huge risk. If we're gonna let Mauricio Pochettino go, let's go for a proven manager. We've been there before. Signed manager because we signed managers because of their potentials. And how did that go for us? You can say 3 right now. Let's see anything else we have to address here. Okay, and Peter Pan is in the house. This Chelsea team couldn't even win a spoon in the cutlery contest. Wow. Let's alone the cup.
Fair.
And Roger, did you see how he finished it? A cup in a soccer match. I can't say it like Roger.
Soccer.
In the building, GFC Gavin, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Please keep dropping the like on the stream. We have 24 likes. To see the like options, and that's because the format is still very, you can say, it's still novel to a lot of people. Press and hold your screen for about a second. You see the option to like, dislike, comment, and whatever other options in the chat. GFC Gavin, do share the link to your YouTube channel when you get a chance so people can go check it out. Coach, I've noticed that your tapping stats have been severely affected ever since you were relegated to the H place. No, you are the one that's H place. Yeah, I agree. H North place, H positive place, but you are in the H South place, H negative place. You're correct, Coach. Poch once said players always want to play, even when medical staff say that they need time. They start to say things like, I don't have pain. Yeah, but maybe the staff, you can say at the time, weren't able to dictate whether they were lying or not. But yeah, chances that they succumbed to the pressure of the players and felt like, okay, they're ready. Because I've seen, I remember when we heard that Romeo Lavia suffered a setback, he made a post on he did make a post on X refuting that report, saying people just you can say releasing what they want for clicks and all of that. It turned out yeah, he did suffer a setback. Even he suffered another setback after that, actually. So that shows you players sometimes they just want to play. They feel like they can play through the pain and not have issues. Let's see, just talking to Ben, and GFC Gavin has shared the link to his YouTube channel. People, go check it out. Let's help him grow. I want to see him get monetized as soon as possible. Selflessness is the reason why we're growing. And if he gets monetized and be encouraged to produce more content, it can help grow our fan base. So Pink, was nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Coach, blood type is H negative. Just go away, man.
That's funny.
So, Phil, you want to add anything to that? The last what were we talking about? Otherwise, we'll move on to the next topic. I want us to get to the game as soon as possible. We have a few minutes before we round off here.
Yeah, we can move on to the final part.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. The next item we have lined up here talks about the exclusive. Chelsea is ready to pay the compensation to Brighton, the Players Supermarket, for super scout Sam Jewell, and hire him this summer. He is leaving the Seagulls and has been put on gardening leave. So probably because he wanted to join us, I think that led to him falling out with the Brighton Brighton hierarchy. I'm not too sure. The Blues can buy him out of his contract for a big 6-figure sum. Of course, I will pay premium every time we go to get a player or a player or whatever from Brighton. We're one of their biggest customers. So that's, by the way, let's get to the game proper, Roger. I'm going to start with you. Your observations from the game. He ended in a draw. And you can argue, if we're going by the XG, we could have lost. They finished the game with an XG of 1.83. We finished finished game with an XG of 1.81, just 0.2
pretty
better than us. And if you remember, Roger, during the pre-game show, we had, I think, I think the difference between the disparity between our average goal per game and their average goals per game was just 0.3. And we did talk about how that simply means that chances are the game ends in the draw. But Richard, let's hear you. Your observations from the game. Let's hear you.
Yet again, to me, yes, we missed chances offensively, but what stood out was our propensity to be very poor defensively. I thought we were putrid. As well as Gusto has been doing offensively, he's been horrible defensively. He's constantly ball watching. If you rewatch the game, don't look at when they're scoring or crossing the ball. Just look at what we're doing defensively only, and have a look at him. He loses his man constantly because he's ball watching. Disasi, listen, he had an outstanding world-class performance against City. But since then, and actually the game prior to, he's been a defensive liability, dare I say. Just being honest. This is not... We talk about these players are not developed. This position is the hardest. It requires more time to learn the trade, to actually bond with your centre-back partner, etc. And what we have is a bunch of players that are, yes, he's 25, I get that, but the rest are very youthful. We had, what was it now? 8 players under the age of 24 or younger, a 25 and a 27-year-old. So that tells you how youthful this team is. And that shows up more defensively than it does offensively, even though we left goals on the table there. Listen, I believe if we can show up our defense more so than our offense, that we'll be better off. This is shocking defense. These are schoolboy errors. These are just... look at the Leeds game. The very last play of the game was a corner for them. And look at Disasi. He goes up for the ball, misses it yet again. And the player is left all alone, approximately the 10, close to the penalty spot. And he misses the header. Otherwise, we're punished. We go into extra time.
Yeah, and it just seems as if every time we face a sustained pressure from the opposition, we start panicking.
It's not so much even panicking. It's doing the basics, looking at the ball and not watching the man. That we don't have any John Terrys, you know. There's no one of that ilk. They're learning their trade, and we have to understand that. But let's be honest, there's not one player that would make our Chelsea squad in the last between 3 and 4 to 20 something years ago.
Not here's something. Yeah, here's something that's concerning. Very concerning about that is every time you go, see, that's the guy. He's he. And then next game, you say, what is the? You'd be asking the question, what's this guy doing at Chelsea?
And that's symptomatic of a young squad inconsistency. So,
but he's the most experienced of those players. He's one of the most experienced.
Yeah, he is. But let's be honest. There's not one player that would be starting in our squad in Abramovich era. Not one. Yes, you can say Reece James, but he's not available. You know. So let's be sincere here. And you know, our defense is porous, shall we say? It's just unacceptable. It's the fact that Gusto is ball watching constantly. Yes, we can, you know, genuinely praise him for what he does offensively, how he crosses the ball, you know, even tackling and so forth. But when it comes to crosses, we are collectively as a unit and individualistically inept. Just being honest with you. I saw a stat that I think where I can't remember what the stat was. It was to do with crosses. We concede like the second or third worst amount of goals in the Premier League based on crosses per 90. It was an embarrassing stat where we're not. Listen, aerially, we are very poor. You know, look at Disasi's goal. Beautifully taken, by the way. As much as you have to critique him, but look what he did. He didn't wait for the ball to come to him. He attacked the ball. He looked like John Terry. You know, this is what he looked like. He looked like this is what you're supposed to do defensively also. But they don't wait. They wait for the ball to come to them as opposed to attacking the ball. And I'm not sure whether Disasi called off Gusto, but if you watch that goal, don't look at the ball. Don't look at Disasi. Look at Gusto. He's waiting for the ball to come to him. He doesn't attack it. Now, I'm glad he didn't, because he may have actually interfered with Disasi, or hopefully Disasi called him off, meaning, don't attack it. I'm there, That's what players do. And I'm hoping that's the case, because if not, then that's a damning indictment on Gusto, because, yes, I know he's 20. I get it. He's a fetus. Let's be honest. He's barely begun to learn his trade. I get that. But we're talking about, realistically, virtually every player in our squad, 28 to 30 players, not good enough to start for virtually a top 6 to 8 team in the Premier League. Let's be honest. And that's why where we are, because they're developing and or injured. As I said, only Nkunku, I would say, is a person that isn't developing. I mean, you're always developing, even in your 30s. But I mean, that has reached a certain level where you can say he's reached that level where you can say he's a how shall I put this, a professional that knows his trade. The rest haven't. That they're learning it, and it shows, and it doesn't, and we're more exposed, and it's more illustrated than when we play defense. We're porous. I mean, I feel sorry for the keeper. I really do. By the way, he's been, I think, a very positive influence on us. I'm pleasantly surprised. When I compare his outing compared to Sanchez for Leeds, he was a breath of fresh air. I thought he played very well, solid.
The difference is just the same as night and day, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah, but our defensive line, for instance, this Gusto to allow the crossing, and then when you look at the second goal, look around him. No one is attacking. He's got a 3 to 5 yard, circumference of players that are not around him. We didn't attack that area. I'm not sure whether we're playing a zonal or a hybrid zonal, but we're losing men. You had 2 men that were close to the penalty area that they weren't even marked. That shouldn't be happening at this level. These are schoolboy errors. And then when you watch them score, don't look at the ball, don't look at their player, look at our players only. That's what I do when I rewatch a game. Look at their positional sense. It's lacking, gentlemen.
All right, I'm gonna catch up with what we have in the chat, and we hear from we hear from Phil, and then we'll get to Bobby to round up the show for us. Then let's keep those in the chat. The microphone. Who's the proven manager right now? I wouldn't even mind taking out Jose Mourinho if they decide to let Pochettino go. Even though I'd still tell you, what's his name? Mourinho isn't progressive enough, in my opinion. I still say but I'll take him anytime, any day. Right now, given the sort of mentality that he will instill on these players, in my opinion, they need to give us a discount now. Exactly. We've made so many purchases from Brighton that if we go there, we should be arguing. Look, we come here every time we need a product, so you should give us discounts. Otherwise, we're going to start shopping somewhere else. So
it's like Costco.
Yeah. I think I agree. We frequent their store, so we should be getting discounts. Please also subscribe to our sister channel. It's called Soccer Perspective. We need, I think, just 26 more subscribers to get that particular channel to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting there gradually. I think that's how many we need. I can't quite remember. Vic, we don't know the truth, but we do know Poch trains hard and way too often, even night before games. So you're thinking that's actually a factor that we should look at, given how often our players get injured. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along well. Thank you so much for subscribing. People having good conversation there. Funny viral video saying, what is Poch saying to the players at halftime? I don't know. They come out looking lost for the second half. I've seen people say that. But Chama, nice to see you, Chama. I hope you're doing well. I know you're probably at work or maybe on your way to work, but nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Players are so inconsistent, and Pochettino's in-game management, apart from Crystal Palace, has been weak. Mentality all around the club is the weakest you've seen. And what's your name again? Rashi, you should be careful what you say, and that's because your club bottled a goal lead. Yeah, and could have considered even more had Haaland not missed I did not miss a few. But despite the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. The C is the same. The Sassi has the same amount of Premier League goals as Gallagher. Let that sink in. I don't measure players' performances that way. We're different, probably because people in the H positive place and and people in the H negative place think differently, and I'll take that. But that's by the way. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with Gusto does ball watch a lot of the time. Yep. Okay. Let's see Vic here. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for the great contributions in the chat. Phil, let's hear you. I want to surround up as soon as possible. I have to go help my boys prepare for school. Phil, your observations from the game, then we'll go to Bobby to have him round up the show for us. Let's hear you, Phil.
For me personally, to be honest with you, I was not happy with what I saw. This team is completely mid, and in as much as we would like to dismiss it, we just have to agree on one thing, that we are now a mid-table team.
Yes,
because
exactly.
I don't think anything is going to change as long as we have these Brighton recruitments and we have these other manager recruitments like Pochettino, who just don't have any idea of how to win. I don't think we're actually moving forward. We're not going forward anyhow, but maybe things will change, who knows. But as for me, to be honest with you, I have already written off this season because I don't think we're going to get any European place. I don't think we'll actually finish, at a better position. Probably we're going to finish, if we have done better, maybe 9th. But with how things are looking, probably 10th. And with the way the FA Cup is, there are still too many big teams which are better than us, so I don't think we're going to get anything. But this game, it just proved a lot of things. We're just inconsistent and our players are not good enough, and it's just high time we have to accept and to admit it, because in as much as we want to blame the coach that is the one who is the problem, the players also have to take the blame, and they need to actually come out and take responsibility, because they are the ones who play every week, and we have to watch all that mediocrity. I don't think that's actually a good thing, but that's just my observation.
It's accurate, Phil. It really is. We played 2/3 of the season and we are where we are.
Exactly. I agree with you.
My understanding.
And I think, can I just quickly say this? I think there's enough blame to go around to the coaching staff, to the players, to whomever. I think you win as a team and you lose as a team. And I think there's enough blame to go around and enough credit to go around when we do win. That's how I look at it. I think we were definitely losing as a team.
Exactly, I agree with you.
Right. Yeah, I would say it looks like Phil has joined the gang. I'm seeing that quite clearly. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. And I'm seeing some heated debate or argument between Dante and Phil. Please, you don't need to. Don't let it escalate. You can have a good conversation without taking anything personal there. In my opinion, Brentford's second goal was painful to watch. And let's see, Coach, a question for you all. How do you define a progressive statement that Mourinho isn't progressive enough? This is this is one point sticking around for too long. Please help me. Heston, I'm going to try to explain that. Mourinho not being progressive enough, for instance, is not into what fans would want, what you could say the fans prefer to see from a manager. You could say the philosophy to entertain and win at the same time. For Mourinho, it's always he doesn't care. He just wants to win whatever it takes. Which you can argue during his second stint, the fans weren't too bothered about him getting fired, and he hasn't changed. If he comes back, he'll still be that Mourinho. All he wants to do is win. He hardly. You could say he hardly. You could say prioritizes. I'm not saying he should prioritize entertainment, but you can find a way to mix both. Play good football and still win game, but that's not Mourinho. You'd see him against Man City decide to pack the balls and find a way to win. I'll take him now, but I still say he's not progressive enough, in my opinion. I don't know, Bobby. Let's hear you. And I have one. I do want Roger to chip in, give us his 2 cents with given this question on the screen there. But Bobby, your observations from that game. Before I get Roger to, let's hear what Roger has to say.
Yeah, I have to go back a little bit to the issue of defending. And yes, the defense, really needs a lot of work. But the thing is, if the offense was functional and putting away the chances they're supposed to, you probably wouldn't be too bothered by the defense. It's a bit of a chicken and egg situation, and both ends of the pitch needs sharpening up. But, I totally and completely reject a negative label for Chelsea Football Club and at Chelsea. We don't deserve it. We don't belong there. This is a development. And with the development, we all know will come all these inconsistencies. That has always been a given, especially this first season. My anger lies in and around the trophy direction, the opportunity that we had, which should never have been spurned. But outside of that, I'm not too alarmed by what I'm seeing, and I'm not too expectant, apart from the fact that Poch has now cornered himself into a position where he has to win more in order to get people any kind of confidence in him. I'm not too alarmed by what I see. Also, bearing in mind the injury level, it's not too surprising. Inconsistencies in the defense is going to happen with an inconsistent defense, which is what we've had, especially in the left and indeed to a certain extent in the right back position. So this is a season of development. We need to understand and accept that. Well, we don't have a choice because it's been put upon us. I don't also talk in finalities. Football is not about finalities. You're only as good as the next game. And in football, 1 week can change everything. No, I don't accept that. Europe, well, it looks unlikely. Is it impossible? Absolutely not. The team has shown that they can put together some surprising wins and turn some things around. I'm not even talking about when of the FA Cup yet, so that shouldn't be a conversation as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be, shall I say, um, I won't say unhappy, let's say frustrated about, but that is the journey of development. As for Mourinho, I agree with you, Coach. I think Mourinho will struggle with this team. It's not his team, it's not his type of team. He doesn't develop players like this. As far as the development of the players is concerned, probably we have the right person in Pochettino. That in itself is not my complaint. My complaint about him is that as you develop, and as you have created a cup winning mentality, you must be a cup winner. You must have that eye of the tiger at the end to pick up the prize, because that is your sole purpose as a manager at a club like this. That is where I don't forgive him. But everything else, well, is bound to happen. Yes, his in game management is not the best. And long term, going forward, there will come a time when these players are better developed. We will have to look at a more winning manager. You know, it's clear. I also agree with the Amorim situation. I think it's a risk. I think if anybody comes in to replace Pochettino, this has to be quite a proven guy. Is it Mourinho? No, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, at this point in time, no. Maybe if the team was more developed, more settled, more battle ready, perhaps he will come in. But he's not the guy that's going to come and put his arm around Modric. He won't have patience with Modric and co. He will crucify the kid and dump him and sell him off like he did with Salah and De Bruyne. So no, he's not the man. Is it a Klopp? Well, Klopp has been tarnished with Liverpool. He will never give us what he gave Liverpool. So don't bring him. It will be more frustrating than having Pochettino. Who will that be? I really don't know. It will really have to be a high-end guy, very, very high-end guy.
Who would you
But
want, Bobby, if you were choosing?
oh, people have spoken about Filippo Inzaghi.
Hmm.
Is he Premier League type? One thing I noticed about Italian managers, dare I say it before Italian fan base jump on me, is they're very good. Conte is very good, but Conte, after one season, 2 seasons, they find it very hard to reinvent themselves, like you have to do in the Premier League. So you keep playing the same way and you get found out. Whereas the likes of Klopp, Guardiola, and so on, they have survived because they have been able to reinvent themselves, get in, refresh new players and so on. That's quite a skill in the
Yeah,
Premier League, and very few managers are capable of that. So who would I want that isn't tarnished? Um, oh gosh, that is difficult. That is, people are even talking about Ancelotti. I wouldn't have Ancelotti back. He's a Galacticos whisperer.
I
I would
agree.
go. I would go with. Though people will say, well, if you didn't want Amarin, why would you want someone like this? I just believe that Nagelsmann would have been excellent for Chelsea. I really do. His youth, his energy, and the fact that he is developing himself, I'll be looking along those lines. I'll look at someone like Joachim Low, who isn't working at the moment.
Oh,
I think he would do well with Chelsea. That sort of caliber of manager, but they're very few and far between. To get an A-list manager is as difficult as it is as getting an A-list striker. But when you get them, boy, do they make a difference.
I agree totally. I'm not sure about Low though.
All
Other
right,
than that, I agree with everything you said, sir. And by the way, can I
Joachim
just
Low,
quick? Yeah.
Low, the
Can I just?
former German national team coach,
Yeah, yeah,
probably would struggle in the Premier League. Go ahead, Roger.
yeah. What defines us not being
Oh, yeah, the
progressive
question on
enough?
the screen, right? Go ahead.
Yeah. So that to
Yes,
me,
yes.
that to me is defined in the context of Mourinho, where he's too pragmatic. You can be pragmatic, but be forward thinking, but he's not. He parks the bus. And to a certain extent, that's warranted in some matches. But he is not progressive enough in the sense that he is too, I wouldn't say negative. That's a very negative connotation.
He's
He's too,
results orientated. That's all he wants,
yeah, yeah,
results.
yeah, yeah. So if you're looking for pretty football, no, he's going to slap some lipstick on that pig and take it to market. That's all he's going to
Exactly.
do.
Exactly.
Sorry for the
No
visual.
development.
Yeah, yeah, and he excels with players that already developed veterans. He's excellent at. He's not renowned for. I think he would lose this locker room, to be honest with you. Listen, Mourinho
That's right.
1.0,
He
Mourinho
would.
1.0 was a thing to behold, but I think the game could have been realistically, it's passed him by potentially. And listen, invariably, when he arrives at a team, he leaves it in worse shape than when he arrives, it seems. He's got that
He
history of doing that now.
he was right for Chelsea at his time, but you know what
Exactly.
Chelsea need?
Exactly.
Chelsea need a manager that has morphed with the team. They need a Nagelsmann. They need a Xavi Alonso. They need that sort of youngster who comes in and is a winner and can win with the youngsters he has and develop with them. That's what they need.
Here,
Can
here.
we, where can we find this? Will we get Alonso? Well, I don't know. Will we get Nagelsmann? Well, we tried once. I don't know what happened then. Nothing says you can't try again. I really think he will do well with Chelsea. I really do.
Do you know?
I-
You know why I asked you that question, knowing that I actually don't know the answer myself. But if
no,
I had to
nobody
pick,
does.
yeah, if I had to pick one, I would say Nagelsmann is a good shout, Bobby.
Yeah,
I
nobody
mean,
does. You never know until you try.
yeah,
But
I mean,
I don't think they look to get Nagelsmann. You can say we
But
were
to be
interested
fair,
in
upon all
him.
my
He was one of
anger
those being
at
considered, but he didn't
Pochettino,
end well.
I can't say for this current point in time in the project that he is totally wrong. I just want that spite, that ability to take a team over the line. And the less said about the Carabao Cup, in my environment, the better.
yeah. No, I
And I'm
get
going to
it.
say this quickly. My opinion is, yeah. Go ahead, Roger.
No. I think what Bobby said, all joking aside, I think he's spot on. It's virtually impossible to know. We can't read the future, but he's right. I think picking Nagelsmann is as good as call as picking anyone. Klopp is never going to coach for another English team other than Liverpool, even if they offer him. You know, he's a legend now. He'll never go to United or Spurs or Chelsea or anybody.
Well, he might, but he won't. I mean, if he comes to Chelsea, it will be worse than Benitez. If he comes to Chelsea, if he comes to Chelsea, he's gonna have to win the league every season for the fans to take to him.
Oh,
If
he'll have
he
to
makes a mistake, he will be crucified.
vilified. Yeah, he'll have to win the quadruple
I'm going to
5
say
years
this
in a row.
quickly.
Exactly. And quite honestly, I wouldn't want him. I
Yeah,
wouldn't want. It'll be like going to that girl that you fancied, but
yeah,
your best friend
exactly.
had.
Yeah,
And then he dumps her, and then she wants to come to you, and you're looking at
yeah.
her saying, "Mrs. Sorry, get out of here. I don't go for seconds." That is. I'm sorry to use that example,
Yeah.
but that is how Klopp will be to us. It'll be, oh no, he's tarnished. He's
Yeah,
messed up.
but Bobby, even in a miniskirt.
Whatever he wears, it'll be like putting lipstick on mutton.
Yeah, I hear you. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
it's just I even shudder to even think about it.
Yeah, just
He's
kidding,
gone.
mate.
All
Yeah.
right.
Sorry,
I'm
I
going to
use
catch up
that
with what we have.
example, but I mean it's spot on.
Can I just quickly say one thing briefly, Coach? And the ironic thing is, Liverpool got him because we were going after him, and they pulled the trigger on him because they knew that they had to get rid of Rodgers and they wanted Klopp, and the word was that Chelsea were going to hire Klopp. So that's the irony of all ironies. Let that
All right.
sink in.
Thank you for
Do
that.
you
I'm going to
think
catch.
anybody can hear me, Coach? I mean, Roger, because you're the only voice I can hear. I
No,
might have to
we're
drop
hearing
out
you.
and drop back in again.
No, I can hear.
We
Listen,
can hear you. We all
not,
can hear you.
not hearing Coach is a good thing, Bobby. It's a good thing. Sorry, Coach.
But Roger, jokes aside, you can hear
I've
me,
just heard
right? Oh
someone
yeah, I
else
can see
laugh.
my
I don't know. Is
audio
that
still.
Phil?
Yeah,
Is that you,
I'm
Phil?
good.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is me.
Yeah, no, I can't hear you,
Yeah.
Coach.
So let me.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
because
let
I'm
me
not
catch
the
up with
only
what we
one that
have
can't
here.
hear,
Then
Coach. I was wondering. I thought maybe there was
let's catch up with what
a
we have in the
blip in
chat. Let's give those in
transmission.
the chat the microphone. It doesn't look like
No,
Bobby
you're
can hear
very
me.
right. No. Klopp is done. He can't come anywhere near Chelsea. To a certain extent, even Pep
Hey, Bobby.
can't.
Bobby, Coach.
Pep can't come anywhere near Chelsea because of what they've done in our rivals.
Bobby, Coach is trying to talk. I'm not sure whether you can hear him, Bobby.
I can't
I don't
hear
think
him
he
at all.
can.
That's why I was wondering if I was still on the stream. He
Hmm.
might have to drop and come back.
Okay. So let's catch up. We go to Phil. Once Phil speaks, I think we'll call it a day. I like how Roger uses. I'm moving away from that. I think you can tell by the discipline
Coach,
he
you need to fix
instills in
this
these.
because It's not making any sense right now. You got to drop and come back or whatever. You got the controls.
I don't think it's from my end. If every other person can hear me, then it's definitely from your end. Roger, can you communicate to him to wait a
Yeah,
bit?
but Bobby, we can hear Coach. You can't. I think it's your end, Bobby.
Okay, I'll drop and come back.
Yeah, Vic, you can tell the discipline he instills in this team are almost non-existent. This is not this is not okay. This is your conversation with someone else. Keep dropping the likes on the show, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this morning. Maybe I look in the dressing room. Okay. How did you do that? He is also a mod. I'm not gonna get into that. Let's see what else we have here. I have special powers. Okay, let's see, Coach. We are this saying Coach. We are playing football, and we are playing good football, a good entertaining football. Just 1 second, Bobby. 1 second, please. But I would say some fans would also like to see good defensive football from the dark walls. Yeah, I agree. A good defending was our DNA, and the opponents hated it. Yeah. I mean, if you don't defend well, even if you score 10 goals, chances are the opposition can score 12 and beat you at the end of the day. So my point is this: what I'm trying to say is this: Mourinho isn't progressive enough, and I think you now get my point. If that makes sense. Let's see. He likes the dark arts of defending. Yeah, good defending does go a long way. It will go a long way for any football team. I get that, but Mourinho will fall out with the owners. He also the fan base will turn on him easily. If we get to play against City and Liverpool, all we do is defend and try to hit them on the break. And there are a lot of teams. Even Brighton would actually defend deep against Brighton because they like to keep the ball. And Mourinho doesn't like to fight you that much when you keep the ball. He would try to defend deep and suck up you can say all the pressure and then try to hit you on the break. So the fans will turn on him quickly, in my opinion. So Phil, let's hear you. Then we'll go back to Bobby. If Bobby has anything else to say, then we'll round up there. I have to go as soon as possible. Yeah.
I was just going to quickly say that I hope you didn't mute me because of my example about Jurgen Klopp.
No, I didn't. No. Why would I do that? Well, we respect everybody's opinion here.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say sorry, Coach, but it's quite.
No. But I didn't even hear that. I was I had to leave my desk to go wake up my voice. But let's say you feel anything you want to add to that? The argument about the manager Amorim. For me, right now I have to say, I think who did I think it was Helgi that asked me the manager I'd prefer to see at Chelsea if the owners choose to let Mauricio Pochettino go. And I told him right now, you can say I'm not looking beyond Mauricio Pochettino. That's because I know he'd finish the season with us. I believe he'd finish the season with us. But let's say if you have anything that you want to add to that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think he's going to finish the season. Then after the season has finished, that's when they are going to actually, do almost like some kind of review and see if he's going to be the man to take us forward or not. Because I think it wouldn't make sense for us to just sack him now. Because with the FFP and everything else, it's going to mess up with us right now, and it's not a right time for us to sack him and bring him another coach. Because if we sack him now, we need to bring in another interim, and there is a greater probability we're going to take Lampard. And the history of Lampard last season, it was just not pretty. So I think if he can finish the season, then we can actually see if he's the man to take us forward or not. Besides, he actually has I think another 1 year left within his contract, which means if he can do those 2 years and they decide he's not the man anymore, they don't need to renew another 1 extra year. They just need to let him go and actually take another coach who is going to have a bit of, experience and actually has a bit of that pizzazz, that you need whenever you have a coach who is going to do well, let's say in these other competitions. Because with the Club World Cup coming as well. I'm still not sure Pochettino is going to be the right man. Even if we get Conference League, I'm still not confident he's going to win us the Conference League. He might as well just bottle it like he did with the League Cup final. So I still don't think he's the man to win us leagues and to win us trophies. But as for now, he's the only person that I think can actually work with these players. Because if you want to develop players, you don't need to bring too many coaches, because that development will just mess up with everything. So we might as well just keep him. I know a lot of
Very
people,
good
they don't
point.
share the same sentiment, but that's
Very
just
good
what I
point.
think.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point.
Right. Anybody else has anything else to say before we call it a day? I think we should. I would say we've come to the natural end of the show, but do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Phil. Totally.
Yeah.
We need that stability. In terms of development, Poch is actually the guy, dare I say it. It's the winning that is my concern. But he will steady the ship. He is steadying the ship. He is developing them. And we can't just keep jumping manager, manager, manager. Now, come the summer, if they have, because this is their time to do due diligence and see if they can find the right guy, maybe they can find the right guy. But that's going to be very difficult until the players are mature, developed, and ready to bring in just anybody. It's not going to be an easy thing to do. So let's hope somewhere along the line something clicks in Poch's head and he becomes that winner. He himself will realize the opportunity he missed with the Carabao Cup. But you know what? I'm even tired of thinking about it and talking about it. I just think going forward, we have to be solidly behind this team and watch them grow. I mean, if Jackson is anything to go by, we are slowly but surely going in the right direction. Our biggest hamstring have been the injuries.
Yeah, Bruce, got anything else from you? I'm late. I want to run.
No, go for it, Coach. Go for
All right.
it.
Thanks so much. I
Great
want to say
panel,
thank you to all
great
of
show.
you. Yeah. I want to say thank you to all of you for finding the time to join the show this particular morning. It's been an excellent discussion. It's set for. I was a bit concerned, the back and forth from Constantine, Dante, and Vic. I hope they didn't take anything personal there. Whenever you see such, especially if you're a moderator, you try to de-escalate the situation and not escalate the situation. You can say, I expect you guys to not let things get out of hand. But that's by the way, I want to say thank you to Roger. Roger, your information is in the comment section below. Everything, you know what I mean by that. Same as Bobby. And I need your information, Phil. We'll talk about that behind the scenes. I'll get your information, how you want it to be added to, how you want me to always add your information to the description section so people can come follow you on Twitter. And to all of you in the chat, I appreciate you all. JC, the Bluetooth for Game, Constantine, Dante, Rich Moneymakers, and all of you. If I miss your name, apologies. But I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
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 I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. So until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see matter of fact.
I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully.
You are mine
control
in the
my
game.
destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it.
You are leading the charge, dude. You're leading the charge today. It's
Look what I'm becoming. In my mind I'm running all around circles. Better thoughts are coming. And my mind is like a reflex. It knows just what I need next. If I could just believe that, I know I can turn all of my thoughts into a real threat. 'Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.